Okay, it's already recording. Thank you.
Okay. Great nap coming today. Wagon wheel.
I've been there forever.
First time I heard this song. So yeah, Rodriguez.
Oh yeah,
Does Nate still work there?
Clancy loved Rodriguez.
His parents flew him there, right?
I'll take a chance. Flying high. Before my numbers up, I'm gonna fill my cup. I'm gonna live
That's right.
until I die. They're gonna say, what a guy. I'm gonna play for the sky. Before my numbers up, I'm gonna fill my cup. I'm gonna live until I die. The blues are laid low. I'll make it stay low. You'll never trail over my head. I'll be a devil till I'm an angel. But until then, I'm gonna laugh instead of crying. I wanna take a chance, flying high. Before my numbers up, I'm gonna fill my cup. I'm gonna live. I'm gonna live. I'm gonna live until I die.
That's good. He did live.
That's perfect.
So, I'll read this poem that his dad asked me to read. He said, Greg said that this poem gave Jonathan, oh man, I'm a big baby, gave Jonathan a lot of peace when his grandfather died. And it says, do not stand at my grave and weep. That's the title. Do not stand at my grave and weep. I am not there. I do not sleep. I am 1,000 winds that blow. I am the diamond glint on snow. I am the sunlight on ripened grain. I am the gentle autumn rain. When you wake in the morning hush, I am the swift uplifting rush of quiet birds in circling flight. I am the soft starlight at night. Do not stand at my grave and weep. I am not there. I do not sleep. Do not stand at my grave and cry. I am not there. I did not die. You guys want to all just share a short memory, that your greatest memory of our brother? No pressure, but I know he'd like that.
Clancy. We burned through most of our memories.
No pun intended. Pun intended.
Clancy was special, man. He never had a cross word to say about anybody.
Never.
He was just a special guy, man. He was really, really peaceful and really at peace with everything around him. You know, he did everything the way he wanted to, and he never caused too much tension, except for Neiman, I think, maybe. Yeah. And the best, probably the funniest memories will forever be that bachelor party and all those antics.
I have so many. I told one a couple weeks ago, and none of you guys ever heard it. But when I kicked him in the throat one time, it
How
was
old
a
were you?
flying jump kick
Kids?
when we were kids, and he ran in the kitchen and grabbed an entire handful of steak knives and started throwing them at me.
So we had crosswords with Jeff.
Yeah. I should have prefaced that. Justin
But
excluded.
the biggest one ever was when we were at the state fair riding the chairlift over the state fair, and he decides to spit. You know how he always hawked up loogies?
Yeah.
He spit a loogie off and landed on the arm of a person grabbing their food from a concession stand. And security chased us all the way through the state fair and arrested us and put us in holding for hours until we got picked up.
Oh, man.
Those are the things I remember. So, definitely gonna miss him.
I'll one funny story I remember. You know, I think all of us never really knew how tough Jonathan was. You know, if he had to throw down with somebody, how would he do? And I know I didn't have faith in that. And one day, him and Bobby Maycock were jabbering at each other in the gym. And you know, Jonathan at this point, I don't think had ever been in a real fist fight in his life. And I was like, oh shit, he's gonna get laid out. And but he was a big hockey fan, as you guys know. Jonathan goes straight for the back of Bobby's shirt, pulls it over his head, and just whoops him. And I thought that was so awesome. He learned how to fight watching hockey. But my greatest memory is the first time I met Jonathan. You know, when you guys had all grown up together, and I was brand new out here in Cave Creek, and I was 15, middle of our freshman year, and I didn't know anybody, and I was, you know, just the nervous new kid. And this, I'm sitting in Mr. Marisi's history class, and this kid taps me on the shoulder and says, "Hey, do you have any paper?" And I was the new kid. I was nervous, or do you have a piece of paper? He said, and I just handed him my whole packet of all my paper. And I remember that was the beginning of our friendship, and to this day, you know, up until I guess a couple months ago, it seemed like every time we were together, he'd bring that up and say, "Hey, that's why we became friends. I knew you'd share." And I'll tell you, Jonathan was somebody who would just, you guys all know he was cheap, very cheap, frugal guy.
Yeah, he borrowed your paper.
He would borrow my paper. That's the perfect example. But he was the first one to share his time and his love. And I posted this the day he died, but from, "Hey man, I'm struggling in college. I'm out here all alone in Oklahoma," and boom, he's on a flight. You know, "Hey, I'm moving across the country." Okay, jumps in the moving truck and helps me move. And that list can go on with that, but those are my memories of Jonathan. And when just moving back home to Cave Creek a few months ago, it really sucks that we won't get to do the things we did in the past, but I keep focusing on the fact that, as you guys all know, we got 9 bonus years with him, or whatever it was, 9 or 10 years since his stroke, and we all remember sitting in the ICU thinking he was gone then. And the fact that we got 9 more years keeps me somewhat happy and knows, and I know that he's at peace. I don't know if you guys know this, but the last couple years, you know, Jonathan was a believer. I don't know when he accepted Christ, but he was a believer as long as I knew him. His mom led our youth group at church. But the last couple years, he was on my tail about when's the next Bible study, and he got to know Christ in a way that I've never seen him have a relationship with Jesus other than the last 2 years. So I know he's there. Anybody else want to share?
I just like the Revolution story where the Where's Revolution At story. I've told it already.
Tell me that. I don't know that.
We went up to Flag for a Revolution show. We get to the Mother Road Brewing, sit down, have a beer. Clancy, all right, wonder where Revolution's partying at. They were sitting right next to us. We didn't know until we left. We brought that up all the time. Had some of the best times with that dude since the stroke.
Yeah.
So yeah, like you're saying, a lot of bonus fun after that.
Probably my favorite 9 years, man. I don't know about you.
Yep. Yeah, I can agree.
some ashes?
Yeah.
Yeah, we should.
And then when we get done, I'll read 2 verses that I know he would have liked. But there they are. You guys do it. Send them off.
Almost dropped him.
Downwind preferably.
Yeah. There's too many movies with
Don't Lebowski this, man.
Wait.
Do not Lebowski.
Whoever's phone this is said
Just
your
don't pour
dad's
'em in the-
watching with binoculars.
Don't pour them in the nets there.
Don't forget to put some in here. We're gonna get this
What are you going to do with that?
Revolution show.
That's good. That's good.
We should all go. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is gonna go. Like tip it, like put it, do it like this. There you go.
That's like a backflow preventer.
It is a back.
He
It's
would have been like,
preventing.
how many grams of ashes am I?
That's good. Yeah, that's perfect. Thanks, Cole.
That's the truth. There he goes. Put them all in here.
Wherever, man.
It's kind of appropriate right now, I think.
Well, there's a lot in there.
A lot of Clancy.
I still think we.
Hey, how about the last year? There was about 100 pounds less of Clancy. That was pretty
Yeah,
awesome.
that was impressive.
Super
Last time I
proud
saw
of
him, he was down big.
He went I think 1 year without a sip of drinking. His
Yeah.
last year, at least a year, right?
Yeah.
Maybe a beer.
Yeah, he lost a ton of weight last year.
I think since that stroke, I don't think I saw him drink but once.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
No, he was drinking pretty heavy there.
I was gonna say,
about-
remember in Vegas?
I missed that part. Oh, there was one part.
Yeah.
It was like,
But
I
he
forgot.
completely gave it up, and it
Oh wait, maybe he wasn't drinking.
definitely
actually.
changed his mind and focus for the better.
you got to put the backflow preventer in.
Anybody else?
We gotta get these all out here, right?
Yeah, take that backflow preventer out.
There you go. Finish it off.
Then maybe give him a nice northerly.
Yeah, let's give him a good cast off. Oh, I'm feeling Lebowski.
Don't go with him.
You're gonna get him.
Yep.
Go this side. Is that, you got a little more in there?
Yeah, I got a little more. We'll throw them right up here.
All right.
You guys are great. Great friends.
There we go.
Hey, Clayton, coming back.
He doesn't want to go.
Jeez, it's both ways.
Way to go, Tim.
All right, guys, I'm going to read 2 verses real quick and tie this baby up. So this is appropriately from the book of John. Do not let your hearts be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. My Father's house has many rooms. If that were not so, would I have told you that I am coming back there to prepare a place for you? And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come back and take you with me, that you also may be where I am. And finally, from Ecclesiastes, I guess I more picked this song for Greg because I think this isn't one of his songs that he likes. But there is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heavens, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to uproot, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to tear down and a time to build, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance. Say we all love Jonathan and we'll miss him. All right, who's carrying me down?
Clifton, call your buddy.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for
Appreciate
coming
it.
out, guys. We really appreciate that. That was awesome.